Major developments on inflation, now at 9.1%. That's the highest inflation level in 40 years. Surging prices for rent, gas, food contributing to this overall increase. And though gas prices are finally starting to come down, this week's report brings new concerns about the potential impact all this could have on the economy moving forward. Anna Wernicke has more from our Washington bureau.
Inflation has reached a new 40-year high. In a report released Wednesday, the Labor Department says consumer prices jumped 9.1% since last June.
These are staggeringly bad numbers.
Republicans quickly pointed the blame at President Biden. Indiana Senator Todd Young says Americans are now paying the price for the president's bad policies.
Look, inflation is already forcing the average U.S. household to spend an extra $5,200 this year.
The report shows prices are up for everything, ranging from food to rent, with rising gas and energy prices contributing the most to the surge. President Biden called the inflation report unacceptably high, but says the numbers are already out of date because they don't include the recent 40-cent drop in gas prices since mid-June.
The American people are sick and tired of struggling to pay for the basic necessities of life.
Still, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders says Americans need relief. He says the solution is to raise taxes on some high-earning Americans. But Oklahoma Republican James Langford says that will just cause inflation to keep rising.
They're literally working to make a bad situation worse.
Anna Wernicke reporting. Anna, thank you so much. We heard there from Senator Todd Young. I also had the chance to talk with Senator Mike Braun as part of our special town hall on inflation this past week called Your Money in Focus. I asked Senator Braun what it will take to fix the situation.
I think there'll be some flex back towards normal because it was very good pre-COVID. But some of the things we've done, I think it's going to be difficult to kind of mitigate other than just working it out of the system because inflation is hard to get rid of. Fed has very few tools to make an impact, and I think we're where we are, and it's going to be difficult to get away from it.
Now, in that town hall this past week, my colleagues Bob Donaldson and Birchell Edmay also spoke with several state lawmakers about inflation and about the governor's plan to return more money to Hoosiers, $225 worth for inflation relief. We asked if lawmakers are likely to approve that plan when they meet in special session later this month.
Right now, of course, nothing's in concrete, but I believe that, at least from the House perspective, we're moving that direction with regard to what the governor has proposed. And so you can kind of expect to see CSB in very close range of what the governor's at.
I think as we continue this debate and move forward to the 225, I think we need to expand it to other groups within the state of Indiana, people with Social Security that haven't filed, or people with disabilities that also hasn't filed.
Now, we also spoke with Congressman Andre Carson as part of our town hall, Your Money in Focus. While inflation numbers have been very high, Carson also pointed to recent employment numbers, which he says paint a slightly different picture.
I think it's important to note that in the midst of high inflation, the U.S. created 372,000 jobs just last month. And under the leadership of President Biden and our Democratic majorities in Congress, we've recovered the total number of private sector jobs lost since the beginning of the pandemic.
Some economists, though, have said all of that money being infused in the economy helped contribute to the inflation we're experiencing. Do you think that's the case at all?
I think it's a part of it, obviously, but it's important to note that unemployment has come down by 3.6% more than the last 3 years, faster than expected. But even with economic improvement, the president and those of us in Congress, we understand how high prices can hurt Hoosier families.
All right, now this week I also spoke with Carson's opponent in this year's midterm election, Republican Angela Grabowski.
I'm running because I want everybody in Indianapolis and all around the country to have the same freedom and opportunities. And unfortunately, until we put a stop to policies that are coming from Biden's, Pelosi's, and Carson administration, I don't see that happening. So there are a couple of things that I would do should I get elected. So number one, we have to balance the budget. We see that money that were printed over the last couple of years, and now we have almost $31 trillion in debt, are causing inflation. This definitely has to stop. Small businesses already having hard time surviving. They're not going to be able to transfer that increasing cost of the inflation to consumers for much longer. And again, because of the regulations and extra cost, they're considering closing a lot of businesses, which can cause, again, a pretty deep recession. Some
Democrats have pointed out that, yes, while the economy has not been great here, it's suffering in other parts of the world as well, as the entire globe deals with some of the impacts of this war overseas in Ukraine, in your native Ukraine, and the impact that that's had on energy prices really worldwide. Is there some truth to that? How do we deal with this situation globally right now?
Nothing different is happening overseas. So Europe is doing pretty much the same thing that U.S. does. They're fighting their energy independence, and because of the war and sanctions gas prices and sanctions against Russia and an inability of the Ukraine to transfer any of their produce and anything else that the world is dependent on from those two countries. Again, prices are going up, inflation is higher.
All right, more of that interview online, including why she opposes a federal abortion ban. Grabowski, as we mentioned, a native of Ukraine. So is current 5th District Representative Victoria Spartz, who spoke with Fox News this week about Ukraine.
As Americans, we're spending a lot of money and a lot of resources. We cannot have another Afghanistan. President Biden have to have a clear strategy, and we need to be able to make sure, that this money is spent efficiently, and also that we have ability to be accountable to our taxpayers.
Spartz critical there of President Biden and also some members of the Ukrainian government as well. We also heard recently from Spartz's opponent in this year's midterm, Democratic candidate Jeanine Lee Lake, who says the Supreme Court's ruling on abortion will be a big motivating factor for women voting in this year's midterms.
On a state level and on a federal level, I think it has really huge ramifications for half the population. I mean, females make up half the population. So you're talking about 176 million Americans that are going to be affected by this. I think this particular issue, Dan, I think it's really going to push women out there that don't want government involved in their personal healthcare decisions.
All right. Also in the news this week, another hearing from the Congressional Committee investigating January 6th, focused on the white nationalist and militant groups that had planned to storm the Capitol building. The committee heard from former members of the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. They also shared videos of far-right commentators encouraging the riot, and a tweet from former President Trump calling on supporters to, quote, be wild at the Capitol. Well, up next, we'll talk with our panel about the Attorney General's remarks targeting a local doctor amidst this latest battle over abortion law, and COVID cases back on the rise, while Indiana doctors also watch for the latest on the monkeypox virus. We'll have the latest right ahead.